about aging in place, finding a home that will be perfect as we age and have more limited mobility. But for some people, it makes sense to sell that final home and move into a senior living type facility. Carmen Worley is here to talk about what that decision looks like for seniors and their families. And we also have joining us today Karen Kelly, who is a realtor, and you have actually experienced this with some of your clients.
Yes.
And in your own life with your own parents.
Yes.
So it's so great that you're here to join us today, Karen. So, Carmen.
Hi.
Hi. So how do you have that conversation with your parents, your grandparents, your spouse maybe, if you're seniors?
Sure.
Where does that start?
It's challenging, and anybody who has done this knows, it's our lives, like our homes, and even selling a home, they're kind of in an arc, right? And so when we get to sort of the back end of those things, we're in retirement, we're getting to do what we want. Maybe you want to move to a senior living community. Maybe you want to stay in your home as long as you possibly can. And those conversations will be really different depending on the person and their choices, their likes, their dislikes. And so it's a very emotional decision for anybody. And so that's kind of where we come in, just helping folks decide, okay, is it time? Do we want to make a plan for the future, or are we going to stay here?
Yeah, so part of what you do for a living is to help families with those conversations. And is it difficult when they bring you in? Is it usually a welcome conversation, or it's like, uh-oh, Carmen's coming?
Yeah, it can be. It can be either or. But I try to be. I'm not the heavy. I'm going nowhere to tell somebody you have to move. My job is just to help them understand what's available to them and how they could maybe improve their home situation if they want to stay there. We have lots and lots of resources that we can introduce people to make their home more safe, or to help them decide, do I want to move to a community? And there's as many different answers to that question as there are people. So.
Yeah. And Carmen, I would say, having dealt with this as the adult child of two parents that have recently passed, have the hard conversations now. I made every decision in crisis mode. I didn't have a Carmen to call because I didn't know my resources. So don't avoid the hard, because it's just going to be harder when you're in it.
I completely agree, and that's one of the things that I so often remind our clients of. One of the main things I hear from people who have chosen to move to a community is, gosh, I wish I had done this sooner. My life is so much easier, But knowing that not everybody wants to do that, sometimes adult children are a little concerned for their parents in a home. You probably experienced this, Karen.
Yes.
Knowing what to look for as you visit mom and dad. Maybe you're not in their city. Maybe you're going to their home and you're seeing, wow, there's some stains on this carpet that are pretty bad, or gosh, doesn't look like this medication has been used the way it was supposed to. There are, stacks of bills on the table that haven't been opened. The refrigerator has a whole lot of expired food in it. There are some broken things in the bathroom.
They're leaving you clues.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
exactly right. They're ready for some help. They may not be able or willing to verbalize it, but they might need some help getting their home ready to stay, or they might need to take that next step and move, so they're not doing it in crisis.
So, and do you find that the seniors are reluctant to leave, and why? If all these things are existing, like you're talking about, all the clues that they're leaving, it's hard for them to maintain a home perhaps. Why are they resistant?
I think it's the same reason we're all resistant. Change is hard.
Yeah.
And when you've lived in a house for 30 or 40 years and all of your memories are there, and you raised your children there, and you had some really big life events there, it's difficult psychologically to let go, because you're letting go of a part of your life that is now changing. So as you move through that process, we have to be very gentle, but understanding with our clients, and help them see that there are really exciting things still ahead. You're not leaving all of the great stuff behind. You still have a lot of great opportunities in front of you. And if you'll walk with me, through some of the opportunities, you might think that one of those will suit you.
And I think that, reminding the siblings or whoever you're working with that, and as an agent, they still have the decision-making capability. Don't be talking around them, talk to them. When you have a parent that can't make the decision, but the home is their legacy. And as you said, all of those memories are part of that. So it's planting the seeds early and letting the decision maybe be theirs. And again, it's the saying goodbye, and yes, it gets easier, but it's their last bastion of independence.
Right, that's so true. But often what we find is an elder in a home that, say, has been there a little too long, and they are hanging on for dear life, but they're all by themselves. They don't necessarily have family that's coming to help. There aren't a whole lot of resources around for them that they're taking advantage of, and they're just isolated. And isolation does not equal independence. So when you think about, am I going to stay in my home? You need to really think about, okay, well, do I have resources that I need to make this possible? Am I in a cognitively stimulating environment? Am I able to, even if I can't leave my home, engage with other people so that I keep my brain alive, right? So that I am aging well. It's not my job to come in and say, you are in a bad way, you need to move out. My job is to provide some resources and help people understand, okay, well, if you move, you might be able to find a more stimulating environment. If you stay, here are some resources that I can give you to help you age well.
Right, and all the more reason to do, as you said, start that conversation early.
Correct.
So thank you so much, Carmen, for being with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah. Carmen Worley provided some really helpful information for seniors or those that care about them and how to manage their home transitions. Thanks for joining us today, and keep coming back for more of Real Life. I'm Sarah Bernard.